systems that might help us end this grand delusion. So the first is, we've been taught all our lives that there's a particular path for us. Study, get good grades, graduate, apply to a college, take a loan, go into college, go into student debt, graduate, get good grades, maybe get a master's degree, send out your resume to a bunch of companies, keeping your fingers crossed that one will hire you, and so on, and so on, and so on. But it doesn't stop. You then work from 9 to 5, you save, you slave, so that someday you can retire and then really enjoy life. Now, if you think that's just for career people, not me, I'm an entrepreneur, it's really similar. Think about the rules about being an entrepreneur. The fact of the world today is that most entrepreneurs are stressed out. They're not making as much as they want. All they have done is exchanged the idea of a 9 to 5 job with another situation where now they are still earning a paycheck which is mediocre, but now they have all that risk. For my first 5 years as an entrepreneur, I calculated that I was poorer off than if I had just stuck with a regular corporate job for the first 5 years. And many entrepreneurs are like that. Now, I believe the reason for this is that modern goal setting leads us astray. Why? Well, one of the terms I coined is the word brule. A brule is a bullshit rule. Our society creates bullshit rules all the time because bullshit rules are designed to help us make meaning, to simplify our understanding of the world. So all of these rules that we often live by, some of them are valid, but most of them are nothing more than rules. Bullshit rules come from religion, come from culture, come from education, come from politics, come from media. They are all around us, yet we follow them. Let's look at some really dumb rules for careers. So let's take this fact. 50% plus of Americans dislike their jobs, right? Now let's look at this other interesting thing. There's this phenomenon in America right now where people become lawyers. Anyone here who's a lawyer, please raise your hand. Okay. So there are some lawyers who absolutely love their jobs, but there's a unique thing in America. America has 5% of the world's population, 70% of the world's lawyers. I know because I used to work in the legal industry. Yet, 50% of lawyers, particularly women lawyers, are clinically depressed. Why are so many Americans jumping into a field that leads to depression? I had one friend, his name is Gavin, and he told me he studied law for 5 years, and he decided to quit just before graduation, because in that one of the final lectures of the semester, his professor said, and I want you to know that you're going to go out there, you're going to be practicing law, but know that you will face depression. Deal with it. And Gavin decided, no. And he walked out, and he became a writer. And I've seen this so many times. When I was selling technology to law firms, I would have lawyers break down and cry to me on the phone about how miserable their lives were. In fact, we were trained to then use this as a lever to push their buttons to buy that technology. That's why I quit the job. It's a crazy, messed up world. Now, I'm not saying we don't need lawyers. We do, but certainly not the number that we have right now. Now, there are rules about entrepreneurship too, which I think are often bullshit. Many entrepreneurs I know are nothing more than glorified freelancers. They work from home, they are bored, they are lonely, they are under high stress, because if they don't get that next client, no one is paying them a steady salary. Entrepreneurs are often also absolutely miserable. So I think that we need to rewrite some of these fundamental rules that we use to pursue success in our lives and that we use to train our kids. And what I want to share is just 5 ideas for rewriting the rules of success. This is the conversation I would have with my son Hayden if he was old enough to be interested in this conversation compared to Angry Birds on his iPad. Rule number 1 is this. The most important thing I believe that leads to success is pursuing what I call a mission-oriented life. So first, let me dispel a couple of myths, okay, and share 3 simple secrets. Success has nothing to do with your career.